It's Monday. You know what that means. Time for your favorite sports podcast, the Flex Zone podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. And the only sports podcast taking you to church on a Monday night. That's right. Break out your good books. Break out your holy oil. Anointing the sports community. It's the Flex Zone podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it tonight. We're talking about those DC sports teams and the moves that have been blocked as they look to have a resolution in the nation's capital. Of course, we recap the draft that was and take a look at the winners and losers. Look at those Ravens, look at those Commanders. Who stood out? And of course, the NBA playoffs. A couple teams are headed to Cancun. That means they're going fishing. And there could be one that gets baptized tonight as the Lakers try to stay alive against the world champion Nuggets. We'll recap all the action, talk about it with you on the Flex Zone podcast. You guys know the drill. When you step in the building, you take your shoes off. And you always hit that subscribe button. You hit that like button. You hit that bell. Blessing the sports community. It's the Flex Zone podcast, episode 438. Keeping it great. The gang's all here, back together. And we're here with you. New episode coming to you live right now on the Flex Zone podcast. It's the Flex Zone. I guess the intro didn't want to like us today, but it's all good. It's the Flex Zone podcast. Only place, fellas, giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Episode 438, keeping it great. Taking you to church on this Monday night, as we mentioned, and baptizing the sports community. Get out your good books. Get out your holy oil, as we're going to take them to church. And we have a very special, illustrious guest, as we are the hierarchy of the podcast community. Episode 438, talking about the NFL draft, talking about those DC sports teams, and we're talking about the NBA playoffs live and in living color. Appreciate all the support this past week with all the content, and appreciate everyone. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, slam dunk it, hit the like button, hit the bell. Let us know your thoughts on the week that was in sports. God's favorite host, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, the Flex Zone 1, and Facebook as well. And TikTok, the Flex Zone podcast. Throw up your ones. Acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table, Flex Zone podcast. As we continue to hit you with each and every week more and more content. But bad and lead off, the social media producer, the meat man, the one, the only, my brother Big Raj, the number one pick each and every time it comes to social media. What's going on, brother?
No bread, no water, just hate. No bread.
Absurd.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's what they said yesterday, didn't they, Cravante? Didn't they say?
I cannot confirm nor deny none of that you're talking about.
Come on, man. You know they said that at the cookout. But anyways, this is your boy Big Raj. I am back in the house. Got an illustrious guest tonight. Hopefully we take him to Sunday school tonight. And also NBA playoffs. Can't wait to recap some of this greatness over the weekend and talk about this NFL draft.
This next brother is the voice of reason. He is the co-patriarch. He is the captain of the goofy ship. He is the one who tells him my heavens. And he did an admirable job last week filling in for yours truly, hosting the Flex Zone podcast. Put your hands together. Cravante, baby. Shout out to you, my brother, last week. And your favorite hymn always follows when you walk in the sanctuary, brother.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. Those haters can't stand.
Cravante, baby.
Why y'all showing off in front of company? I don't understand. Like, what is?
That's the
What is
opening
this?
hymn. That's the opening hymn of the Flex.
Why is that the opening hymn? Why would you? Just absurd. Just start off absurd. But this is our genuine self. But y'all be showing off in front of company. I tell you, y'all. I could tell who got a rod in here, huh? Cause y'all be showing off. Y'all be showing off. Huh? No, Raj. I'm not even trying to hear it. All right. But it's always good to be here. We do this on a weekly basis in the man cave, in the sports cave, the Flex Zone cave. I can't wait to get it started, man. I'm very, very excited. This show we have a wonderful guest, and I can't wait to talk about my Commanders in this draft. Woo! Let's do this.
Last but not least, the tribal chief, the one who's always fly, Mr. 25-8, the hardest working man in show business, the super producer, sharper than the bishop on first Sunday, shimmying better than the Steph
sharp.
Curry.
That's pretty sharp.
The patriarch, the man himself, pride of the East Side, savior of misbehavior, my boy, the A-lister, Drizzy, Dre, and he's at church each and every Sunday, early for each service.
Acknowledge me.
You know we can't leave out the heavenly horns, Dre.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Every week, man. You know how we do every Monday. I'm a little mad though. I just realized for Cavante's Commanders, I changed my hair up a little bit. Shout out to the Swerve Strickland look, but so I can't do the little, I can't give that to you for a while, man. But had to change up the hair.
Good. That's good for you.
Well, we appreciate it, Dre.
50 said we got to switch the style up. And if they hate, let them hate and watch the money pile up.
Terrible, yo.
Well, this next brother is an illustrious guest, like Raj mentioned. He is joining us today to talk about those DC teams and the stadium progress or moves or block thereof. He is the one and only Reverend Dr. John Robinson of Metropolitan AME Church from DC. Put your hands together and all rise as we give reverence to this great man joining us here on the Flex Zone podcast for the first time. Reverend John Robinson, what is going on, Reverend? Bring him on up.
Gentlemen, I need y'all to do introductions for me every time I go somewhere. Y'all are great, man. It's a pleasure to be on the phone. Good to be on the phone with you, brother.
We're available on Sundays and other days throughout the week, brother. Anytime you need us. How you feeling?
I love it.
Let the people know, Reverend, who you are. I know I just gave you a little intro, but let the people know who you are, what you do, and why you joining us here today on the Flex Zone to talk a little sports and some gentrification, possibly.
I appreciate it. I am John Robinson. My mama called me John. Y'all can call me John. I am at Metropolitan AME Church in D.C. My pastor is Reverend Dr. William Lamar IV. I'm running the environmental justice program and ministry there at the church. We're looking to change some of the environmental policy that has devastated our communities. And stadiums have something to do with that. So I'm looking forward to the conversation tonight.
Yeah, let's get into it. Go ahead, fellas.
Go ahead, Dre. Bat it
off.
off.
All right.
Yeah, Dre.
I'll start it off. So your coalition about these stadiums, how did that mission come about?
So you and I have a mutual friend. His name is Charles Ellison, and we've been talking about this for probably a couple of years now. And he asked me to write some pieces. I've looked at this for some years. You all may or may not know this, but for the last 50 years, owners have been hoodwinking, bamboozling, running amok, and leading astray cities, politicians, policymakers, and residents, getting them to subsidize their billionaire fantasies. It's ridiculous. There's absolutely no need for it. And it's a problem because the benefits that they claim never materialize. It's all capped, 100% capped. Nothing that they promise ever comes to. And the taxpayers, people like you and me, who don't have billions of dollars in the bank, always get left holding the bag.
Well, what can we do? What are some things that we can do to put in place to hold these guys that really got the bag accountable?
So it starts with engagement with our policymakers. It's our city council, it's our mayors who are cutting these deals that are putting your tax money on the line for these stadiums. Uh, I don't think any working class person should be putting five on a billionaire's playground or fantasy. A billionaire should be able to finance their stadium, their team, their development, whatever they want to do. They got billions of dollars. They should be able to do it without the help and the assistance of people who got to get up every day and go to work, sometimes 2 and 3 jobs. We should not be subsidizing this, and it's crazy. In Kansas City, just recently, the taxpayers, so this is getting to your question, taxpayers rejected the tax increase, right? So that's what we can do. It's about voting. It's about holding our elected officials accountable, and it's just about saying no. If listen, I love sports as much as the next person, but we should not be putting our money with a billionaire's money in a pot for a public use stadium that's not free to the public.
We totally agree with that. I see that this isn't from what I was saying, not just a DC issue, Kansas City, but also even SoFi Stadium as well.
So here's the thing about SoFi in LA. This is a perfect example of how stadiums should be financed. That stadium is 100% privately financed. The owners of the Rams and the Chargers split the cost 50-50, and then they got a loan from the NFL, from NFL Inc. No public financing, no public money was included in that deal. So the blueprint has been set. Wrigley Field is 100% privately financed. Yankee Stadium, privately financed. So it's not like it can't be done. It's not like it hasn't been done. We're not asking billionaire owners to do something that's never been done before. It's been done. Their peers have done it. And so all I'm saying is that every stadium deal from now on should be privately financed. There's a model in SoFi. SoFi is a beautiful stadium. I've never been personally, but I've seen the pictures. It looks state of the art. It's beautiful. The owners paid 100%, and that's what I'm saying should be the model and the blueprint for every stadium deal. Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, NHL, all of them should be coming out of their own pocket to finance their own stadiums.
And I also see that you also included the Raiders Stadium, Allegiant Stadium as well.
So Allegiant is a good example. So I'm really passionate about environmental justice. So Allegiant Stadium was included public and private, so it was a mix. But what's great about Allegiant is that it is the first stadium, the NFL stadium, to be net zero, which means that it is able to capture the same amount of CO2 emissions that it generates. And they use all kinds of innovative technology. They recycle the concrete, everything, the construction. It's a net zero stadium, and last year was the first net zero Super Bowl ever. So that's a great example of the mix of environmental justice and conservation. If you put that with SoFi and the 100% privately financed, you got a dream situation. You got an environmentally responsible stadium and one that taxpayers didn't have to come out of pocket for. So what we need is a mix of those two. SoFi and Allegiant are great blueprints for how to do it. If you take both of them, put them together, you got a beautiful deal.
So what was going on between the Wizards and Ted Leonsis trying to move the team to Virginia, and then all of a sudden striking a deal to stay with DC or whatever? What was going on with that?
So it's essentially the same thing that happens when you're having problems with your girl and you pull up with another girl and you want to make her jealous. You're not really interested in the other girl. You just want to make your main girl jealous. So that's essentially what happened with the Wizards and the Nationals. They wanted to go where they was going to get the most money, and that's the thing that has caused, I think, policymakers and mayors and city council people to cave in, because there's always this threat that if y'all don't give us what we want, we're going to leave. Like the Cleveland Browns left in like thieves in the night. Like other teams have relocated and pulled out. And it's a threat that that convinces these people to be essentially extorted for taxpayer money. So they wanted to take those teams across the Potomac and go to Alexandria. And Alexandria they didn't want it. They didn't want to come up with the financing. And so then they parlayed that back into going to DC. And here's the question I would have. So one of y'all asked, what can we do? I would ask the mayor and the city council of DC where we can find $500 million to fund a stadium development, but we can't fund the public schools.
Whew. My gosh, my heavens.
That's what I would ask. I would ask.
Take them to church, Pastor.
We can find $500 million for a stadium, but we can't find any mental health resources. Where are we getting this money? And you complaining about budget shortfalls, and you cutting access to healthcare, you cutting education, but we're gonna fund $1 billion as fantasy. So that's one of the things we can do, is just start asking some questions.
Sheesh.
So let me break it down for y'all. Let me pose a hypothetical scenario that I think will help your listeners make sense of this. Let's say y'all got a neighbor, next door neighbor. Y'all cool. You go to the cookouts at their house. They come to cookouts at your house. And one day they come to you and say, I'm about to move across town, and I'm going to build a brand new 10,000 square foot state-of-the-art mansion. And I want you and I want the HOA to kick in half. Is there anybody in your listening audience who would sign up for that deal?
Not they're not going to live in it.
No, sir.
No,
Not going to live in it.
If you want to go and build a mansion, I ain't knocking the hustle, but I'm not finna kick in. And then here's the thing that makes it even worse. Not only do they ask you to pay half, but now every time you go over there for a cookout, you got to buy a ticket.
Ooh.
Every time you take your kids to the pool party, you got to buy a ticket.
You mean the one I kicked in for?
You kicked in for it. You and the HOA came and took it in half. You kicked in half, 50%, and now you got to buy a ticket. So here's the other thing. If we as taxpayers have kicked in half, shouldn't we be able to go to Nat's Park without buying a ticket? I mean, we paid half, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe we just need to start asking some questions. That's all we need.
That's wild. That's a wild.
Listen, there's no other place in the world. Ain't no other place in the world where anybody would sign up for that kind of a deal. No place else, except we do it for stadiums, and we've been doing it for the last 60, 75 years. And there's no benefit. So that's the other thing. These owners promise the world and don't deliver anything. Nothing. None of the stuff they say is going to happen, ever happens. The schools are still underfunded. In every city where there's a professional sports team, schools are still underfunded. In every city where there's a professional sports team, there's mental health challenges. In the inner city, the black unemployment rate is still double the white unemployment rate. But they talk about all these jobs they bring. Where are the jobs at? If the black unemployment rate is still double the white unemployment rate. So we just need to start asking some questions and holding folks' feet to the fire.
Yikes.
Ooh, pastor preaching and teaching right now.
I feel like I'm in a sermon. It's like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, it's tight. It's tight.
So let me follow up then and ask you about the Commanders. Right now, they're in PG County, and they're talking about moving to DC. Have you heard any insight about that? About them moving that over to what's that, Karate?
RFK.
Over where RFK is right now.
Yeah, so I don't have any insight that y'all don't probably already have or haven't heard anything that you haven't already heard. But what it's going to boil down to is what it boils down to in almost all these cases. Where are they going to get the best deal? So who's going to give up the most? And so if DC is going to give them what they're looking for, and I don't know exactly what they're looking for in DC, but I know in Jacksonville, their owner is trying to hold the city of Jacksonville hostage, and they want $1 billion. They want $1 billion with a B from the city.
The Khans, Tony Khan and Shad Khan, they want $1 billion.
They sound like con men.
Look, they want
$1 billion for that team.
They want $1 billion with a B, and they team. The only time they team been to the Super Bowl is if they bought tickets.
You hear this, Byron? You hear this? What the con men are doing?
They want $1 billion from the city.
Unbelievable.
Kansas City's looking for about that much as well, and the voters rejected it. Steve Ballmer in LA wants to build a new stadium for the Clippers.
Right.
They've watched the NBA Finals on TV, but they ain't never been. So I'm trying to figure out why are we subsidizing? We're not only subsidizing a billionaire's fantasy, we're subsidizing in most of these cases mediocrity.
Yeah.
So in DC, if Muriel Bowser and the rest of the city council, if they propose a sweet enough deal, then they're gonna come on back to RFK. But that's gonna mean that the city and taxpayers in DC are going to have to subsidize the renovations of RFK because, heaven forbid they play in a outdated stadium.
Yeah.
Even though they ain't sniffed no Super Bowl in any of y'all's lifetimes, probably.
Well, they have. I think 92, 93,
91.
I was thinking y'all was younger that y'all was born in the 90s. I might be, black don't crack. So
I'm an 80s baby. I'm an 80s baby. So
okay, you're an 80s baby. So all right. So they did win some Super Bowl, but how 92 or 3 was the last time they won a Super Bowl?
Yeah. So I think
that was 31 years ago.
Ooh.
Yes.
Woo.
Some time ago.
Woo.
So yeah, let's go ahead and build them a new stadium. Let's reward them for not going to the Super Bowl for 30 years. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, that's great. Where else? Let me tell you something. I wish I could fail at my job for 30 years and get rewarded. I mean, whew. Where are you signing up for that kind of job? I want that job.
A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people be failing. That's why
failing miserably. So I mean, it'll be interesting to watch the developments to see what DC is willing to compromise and what they're willing to give up. It's happening all over. Chicago was about to move way out to Arlington Heights, and now they scrapped that deal and they're trying to put pressure on the city to build this sprawling new complex along Lake Michigan. And they had that the price tag I heard for that was close to $5 billion. The development cost. 4.75.
$5 billion.
Yes, sir. That's $5 billion would it be, and they want the city to come up with about half of that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The price tags keep getting higher and higher. The benefits keep getting smaller and smaller.
And you said this is for what team in Chicago?
The Bears.
Oh yeah, they did say that they're getting rid of Soldier Field. Now
you an '80s baby. Somebody said you was an '80s baby. Were you born in '85?
No, I was born in '87.
So the Bears, last time the Bears won the Super Bowl was 1985.
Right. They was doing that.
4 years ago.
They was doing the shuffle, right?
The shuffle. With the refrigerator.
Shuffle.
Well, yeah.
Jim
Walter
McMahon. Yeah.
Jim McMahon, all of them. Yes, sir. They were a great team. Great team. Ain't did nothing since then. They got beat by Peyton in the Super Bowl back in 2000 and something.
2006.
2006, yeah.
2007.
Yeah, so they about to get a $5 billion stadium upgrade. Ain't been to the Super Bowl since 06. Haven't won since 85.
It seems like they finally got a quarterback, I guess.
Well, so they had a good. I mean, Justin Fields was a good quarterback.
Yeah, Pastor.
But
We've
now they
been
got-
on that train for a while. We said that
Woo.
we didn't think
Now
they
they
would
got
have traded away
It
It
Justin
doesn't matter
Fields.
if you don't know what to do with talent. Doesn't matter how talented.
Absolutely. But before we jump into that, are the plans laid out for the Clippers facility?
Yeah, I think the plans are laid out. I think they've already reached a deal, and I think construction is supposed to start, if not this year, next year, with them moving in like 27 or 28, something like that.
So
why do they need a separate stadium? They've been with the Lakers all this time. Now clearly, they are the stepchildren of LA basketball teams, but
Yes.
So that's
they
why they said
don't
that
got
they
that. Like you gotta do to me, you gotta do something.
Yeah, they gotta get about the Lakers Stadium. That's what they got.
Yeah, the owner wants
Time for them to go.
the owner said he wants their
Stadium.
own stadium to
So-
kind of try to make their own way for the Clippers. But you're right.
So they gonna win once they get out the Lakers shadow.
Yes. They probably will.
That I don't see that
Sounds
happening.
Sounds good.
It's similar to the Jets and the Giants situation where you're just sharing a stadium, but the Clippers
Giants
owner
won,
wants to make their own way.
Yeah,
Giants
well,
won.
and
That's the
the
difference.
Giants have won more recently than the Jets. So I mean, I get it. I guess. But that's another good example. That stadium, the two owners of those teams split the cost of that stadium. So they split that 50-50. And then the league kicked in the loan that's going to be paid back by both of the owners. So, I mean, we've got precedents for this stuff. It's not rocket science. We'll see what happens. It's really depending upon what the city is willing to offer and whether or not they're going to allow the team to hold them hostage.
The Clippers ain't holding nobody hostage.
I mean, they got the deal done. So, I mean, I don't know what transpired behind the scenes, but they got the deal done. So, you're right. I don't think it's, them leaving is going to be that much of a threat. But they got the deal done. So, they're going to have their own stadium where they can reach 50% capacity. They ain't going to sell out no games.
Is that subsidized or was that private?
Oh, subsidized. Straight up. I mean, I don't know the split.
The split, right?
But they got some taxpayer money for that. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know how much taxpayer money is coming out of this new add-ons to the Baltimore Ravens Stadium?
I do not. You heard the numbers?
No, I haven't heard the numbers. But I just know we're supposed to be building something for the next 3 years that's going to add on to what the existing stadium is, and it's supposed to be extravagant and nice and all that stuff.
Oh, listen, all of these cats just try to outdo each other.
Right? Yep.
Right. So Jerry Jones built Jerry World, and then it's been a one-upsman battle of one-upsmanship ever since then. And I'm all for it. If it's privately financed, you could build Disney World if you want to, but don't ask me to kick in.
So for the Ravens Stadium, it's supposed to be $430 million in upgrades.
$430 billion, and how much of that are they asking the city to kick in?
That's a good question.
They gotta figure out who the mayor gonna be.
Yeah, I say we
Right.
got, that's not
I mean, so $430 million, if you compared to $5 billion that the Bears are talking about trying to spend, man, that's almost a bargain.
I think it's the money that the Maryland Stadium people gave. I think they gave 600 to the Orioles and 600 to the Ravens, and I think the Ravens
for new leases.
they're
yeah,
using that
yeah.
bill.
I guess that's the other thing that is crazy. I wish that after 20 years, because these stadiums they say that they become outdated in 20 years. And so then the teams are looking for a new stadium or upgraded stadium. I mean, it would be great if I could just go and do a GoFundMe and get somebody to go half or more on my new house after 25 years. It's just, it's outdated. Like my bedroom needs to be renovated, my kitchen, it ain't kitchening. So I need,
I think everybody should get the
GoFundMe, and y'all kicking half on my new bathroom and kitchen.
I think everybody should get the privilege. That should be.
Now you gonna charge us to come up in there.
And then I'm gonna charge you to come get a plate.
That's wild.
It's bananas.
That's wild.
It's crazy. And we keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
Byron, what you got, man?
I was going to ask, what do you think about the Commanders? Are you a Commanders fan, Reverend?
So let me tell y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck. When the whole Kaepernick situation jumped off, I just stopped caring. Period. Now I still watch games occasionally. I watch the Super Bowl or whatever. But no. So that's a long way of answering your question. No, I'm not a Commanders fan. Matter of fact, I put the color purple hex on the Commanders. I said until y'all do right and change that name, you ain't never gonna win nothing. So they did change the name.
No, they still need to change the name.
They need to change it to something else. I agree. That's whack. Whack. No, it's a whack name. So I think obviously y'all are well versed in what happened with Dan Snyder and that whole ownership debacle. I think there's just some franchises who bear so much of the DNA of their ownership. It's going to take a while for that the organization is tarnished, and they don't know what to do with talent. They don't know how there's just shambles. The organization is in shambles. They had a decent draft, but again, if you don't know what to do with your talent, it doesn't matter how talented you are.
But this is why the Magic Man is here. This is why the Magic Man is in the building. This is why Daniel Snyder is gone. And this is the new beginning to something greater in DC.
Go ahead and give him the smile. Give Pastor the smile, Roger. Go ahead. The magic smile.
We'll see.
That's right.
How Magic do it. All pearly whites. All pearly whites.
Look, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the beautiful thing about sports, and one of the reasons why I'm even with all of the controversy and the foolishness around Kaepernick, the NFL, NBA, even baseball, hockey, the start of every season is hopeful for everybody. There's hope, no matter how trash your team was last year. There's still hope. Until the first game, and then then it gets revealed what's really what. But at least in the off season and through the draft, you get hope. And as a pastor, as a clergy person, I'm all about hope. I traffic in hope, so I appreciate it. Keep hope alive, Brother Raj. Keep hope alive, Big Raj.
Reverend Dr. John Robinson, any final words for the people before we get you out of here? Anything they need to know? How can they keep up with you, your ministry, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, so metropolitaname.org, smartsurfacescoalition.org, all this. You can find information on all the work we're doing there. And the last parting words I would say is, this is not an anti-sports position. It's an anti-exploitation position. Taxpayers, the working class, and the poor have been exploited for far too long. And subsidizing a billionaire's fantasy is just another in a long line of exploitation. And you all well know that this country's built on exploiting Black and brown and indigenous folk. And it's our communities that bear the brunt when these stadiums come and disrupt traffic. They emit pollutants into the air that we breathe. that gives us higher instances of lung disease and respiratory disease and all kinds of other health problems, high blood pressure, hypertension, all of these things. And it's all mixed in together. And we have the power to get elected officials in there who's going to represent our real interests. And so this is why voting is important. I know some folks say voting is just a sham. It's not. It's especially at the local level. Who sits on your city council matters. Who sits in your mayor's office matters. And so what I would encourage is just for your listeners who I'm sure are already engaged to get even more engaged and start holding folks' feet to the fire and just say no, like Kansas City. Kansas City said nope, not this time. And if Kansas City residents
Right.
voted against expansion or a new stadium for their team, who's won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years, 2 in a row, back to back, if they rejected it, what excuse does anybody else have? We can say no. We got the power to say no. We do not have to take what these folks are giving us. And that goes for the owners. That goes for the representatives who are supposed to be representing our interests. We do not have to take what they're giving us. We have other choices.
Facts.
What a mic drop there. Reverend Dr. John Robinson, thank you once again, sir. We're going to have to do this again real soon. Put your hands together, everybody.
Anytime, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Reverend. Many blessings to you, and we'll talk to you on the flip side. One more time for Dr.
Thank you.
Robinson of Metropolitan AME. Make sure you guys tap in with him as he's dropping the knowledge about what's going on. And like you said, about the exploitation of taxpayer dollars. Well, let's get into from talking about stadiums and talking about football teams to talking about the actual draft. As Dre subs out, we will line it up here. Let's look at the 2024 NFL draft, the first round picks. Let's look at some of the notable picks and highlight some of the maybe questionable and picks we like. Before we get into the actual discussion, draft was this past Thursday, round 1, and then we concluded on Friday with rounds 2 and 3, and then on Saturday with picks 4 through 7. But let's look at the first round. That's what we're all here to talk about. I'll just jump around a little bit just to name some of the notable ones. But of course, at 1, we had Caleb Williams. No surprise there. Number 2 for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Then Drake May went at number 3. So pretty much chalk there with the first 3 picks. Actually, the first 4 with Marvin Harrison Jr. going to from Ohio State going to the Arizona Cardinals, Then Joe Alt going to the Chargers, left tackle, who will play right tackle as Rashawn Slater is there. Malik Neighbors goes 6. J.C. Latham at 7. Probably the shock of the night, Michael Penix 8. Roma Dunze 9. And J.J. McCarthy goes 10 to Michigan to Minnesota. Bo Nix went 12. We had Brock Bowers go to the Raiders. We had, I'm just trying to think of AFC Northwise, Troy Fatanu from Washington goes there. Chop Robinson from Maryland goes to the Dolphins. El Crawford's Philly Eagles, he was talking about him last week. They get Quinyon Mitchell. I think his prediction was spot on, right, Cravante? I know he said he had Quinyon going to Holly Roseman. They got him and Cooper DeJean, so rebuilding their secondary. Brian Thomas Jr., who you guys like, he goes with those con men down in Jacksonville. We had Xavier Worthy. No surprise there. We called that months ago once you ran at 4-2. He goes to the Chiefs. Tyler Guyton goes to the Cowboys. Nate Wiggins is a Baltimore Raven, and Xavier Legette, the Carolina Panthers, trade into 32 to draft him. What are your thoughts so far? Just looking at the first round, guys. Raj, I'll start with you before we get into the Ravens and Commanders. What stood out to you in the first round or possibly throughout this draft? I know it's way too early. We engage in hyperbole with selecting winners and losers and giving teams A's, B's, and C's when we haven't seen these guys play one down of real football. But what did you like about the draft? Any teams that you thought did well or any reaches, as you guys like to say, looking at the first round or throughout the weekend?
What I liked about the draft was it wasn't predictable. Nobody saw Michael Penix going to Atlanta. That was a shock for everybody. I didn't see Buffalo, trading all the way down and allowing Kansas City to select Xavier Worthy. What was it, 30th or 28th or whatever the pick was?
Yep.
I think it's like
They
28.
swap picks. So
28.
I'm like, you gonna let the guys that whoop your ass every year take your draft pick and take one of the best receivers in the combine, but it's neither here nor there. Also, I damn sure didn't see Keon going early in the second round. I thought he would have dropped, especially after his 40 time in the NFL Combine. He had probably, I don't say the worst, but he was slow as molasses out there. So I did not see him. I thought he would at least maybe go in the late second round, maybe early third round. But I mean, Buffalo, I guess, really wanted him, so they picked him up. But I mean, either way, I think it's a good pickup because he has hands of steel. So that was cool. Also, seeing what the Steelers did all weekend, man. Pretty much picking every player that they needed. They didn't really waste any picks. Pretty much this whole offseason has been like fantastic for them. So they're going to be really, really tough to beat, this coming season, especially with everything they're doing in general. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said before, it was a lot of surprises, a lot of shocks. Some people dropped in the draft. Didn't see Brendan Rice going in the 7th round. That was shocking. I mean, like everybody could have had him 7 times over, but he fell all the way down to the 7th round in the draft, which is crazy. And also, how do you feel? I mean, the pending selection was. I mean, I liked it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I liked it because I don't trust Kirk Cousins. Don't get me wrong. Kirk Cousins in the regular season, he's pretty good, and he finds ways to get his team to the playoffs. But how many playoff games has he won? Like one playoff game. So he doesn't get it done in the playoffs. He's unreliable in the playoffs, and I think with Kirk Cousins probably only being there for like 2 years, maybe he can. Penix, I know he's 24 years old. He can sit for another 2 years or a year.
My heavens,
and
he'll be
learn.
30.
That's fine. He can still play at 30, but he can learn from Kirk Cousins, learn what to do, learn what not to do. And yes, Mark, he's definitely in that organization.
My heavens,
heavens, he's in that organization. But he can learn. Penix can learn from him, learn to be a vet, and get some good pointers. And who knows, man? Maybe he might be the next. He might be the next Patrick Mahomes. He might be the next Lamar Jackson. Sometimes you need to sit. In my opinion, you need to sit for a year or two and actually learn. Or Aaron Rodgers, that was another good example. So I think
boy,
Mr. Love, Jordan Love, he sat for about 3 years behind Aaron and learned everything he can, and now he's a top tier quarterback. So I think it's fantastic because Kirk is 36 years old. He's I ain't gonna say he's in the twilight of his career. But I just don't see him, going past 40 or whatever. So learn what you can, make the transition in 2 years or whatever, and keep it moving from there. But I think Penix is going to be fine. I think it was a great pick. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I know a lot of people said Atlanta needs defense. They do need defense, but still, I think they did something for the future of the team as well. So that's always a good thing. But other than that, my thoughts on the draft was it was interesting. It was a lot of stuff going on. I didn't get to watch all of it like I really wanted to. But I liked a lot of picks that a lot of teams made, and I thought a lot of teams did get better, especially in our division. So, yeah, man, it was cool.
I'll come back to you in a second on the Ravens perspective, and Cravante, I'll start with you, brother. And you can transition to the Commanders while you got the ball, and I'll go back to Raj. Thoughts on the draft and your Commanders as I pull up their draft class real quickly.
I was looking at, so you originally said the first round. I know we was doing the whole draft, but we can. But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first,
whatever jumps out to you. I know it's a lot of picks, a lot of players. I just thought the first round, just to that's
so
probably
the
most
first
memorable.
round, I think that's pretty that's pretty straightforward. The Bears knocked it out the park. Getting Caleb Williams and Romo Doomsday was huge, huge 1-2 punch, and getting a signal caller and maybe their top wide receiver in the same draft is crazy. So the Bears look like they're really pivoting to the offensive side of the ball, which they haven't done ever in their history. Even dating back to 85 Bears, they were all defense. The Who else did really well? The Eagles getting Kenyon Mitchell. My gosh, a defensive player didn't go until 15. So that meant all the top edge guys and all the top DBs were going to go to playoff teams. And I am thoroughly upset that the best corner in the draft went to a division rival in the Eagles, and they did not have to trade up or move. They just stood there, and he literally fell in their lap. And at that time, I think only Dallas Turner, Trot Robinson, and Liatu Latu were gone, but the whole DB class was for the taking, and they just as the Eagles and Howie Roseman, how they get down, took the best one. So Eagles, I think Eagles did well in the first round. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs getting Xavier Worthy. He don't even have to be Tyreek Hill, but if he have some resemblance of it, and that Kansas City Chiefs offense could get back to being explosive how they used to be, that's also crazy. I thought Nate Wiggins falling to the Ravens was big too. Again, with it being such a heavy offensive draft class, a lot of top tier defenders went a lot later. And again, the first DB didn't go till 22, and Nate Wiggins coming in at 30. I think he's a top tier corner, fast, can cover, and Ravens. I think that's a perfect fit for the Ravens. Losers. So not a loser pick, but I'd see Mark said something about Michael Penix. I love the pick, football wise, business wise, no. I think you can put him on, and you guys were talking about it. You can put him on the Jordan Love plan. He doesn't have to play right now, and he could play. He'll probably sit for like a year and a half, really, because being truthful, Kirk Cousins probably has 2 years max left in him. He's on the wrong side of 30, and I think he stole the last bit of money just now. I think Byron, I think he just stole the church's money. His last little bit of it. He just stole the last little bit of it. I don't think he's getting no more after this.
100 million.
He can play for a year and a half, and then we'll probably see Michael Penix. And the best thing you do for a young quarterback is not throw him into the fire all the time. Well, one of the best things you can have him but you don't need him right now, so he can learn and grasp the terminology, how things work, how the NFL works, how the specific team works. So he not feeling rushed for all of that and then having to play. You know what I'm saying? So football wise, I love the pick. Financial, business wise, which is why Mr. Arthur Blank had a thing or two to say to their GM, because Kirk Cousins got a lot of guaranteed money, and for you to pick a quarterback in the top 10 is crazy. But you know, football wise, yay. Business wise, no. So there's that. Raiders. I like Brock Bowers, but I didn't like the pick. I didn't like the pick for the Raiders because the Raiders have so much going on. I feel like picking a tight end that high is more of a luxury pick. You pick that when you got most of what you need, and the Raiders don't have anything they need. And getting a top tier tight end, I I don't know. I personally wouldn't have made that pick. I feel like I said, I feel like tight ends are a luxury pick. Um, so yeah. I thought the Bengals pick was weird. I get it, but I feel like they already got their book in tackles. So what are you gonna do with Mims? But I mean, I'm sure they'll figure it out. Lineman can never hurt because you got Joe Burrow. And yeah, those are some things that stood out to me in the first round.
All right, let's go down your Commanders draft list real quick here. Let's get to those Commanders. At pick number 2 in round 1, Jaden Daniels. Number 2, number 36 in the second round, Jerzon Newton, D tackle out of Illinois. Round 2, number 50 from Philly through New Orleans, Mike Sanristil, quarterback out of Michigan. Round 2, number 53, Ben Sinnott, tight end out of Kansas State. Round 3, number 67, Brandon Coleman, guard out of TCU. Round 3, another pick in the third round, number 100, Luke McCaffrey, part of the McCaffrey family. Know the name sounds familiar. Wide receiver out of Rice. Jordan Maggie out of Temple in round 5. Also in round 5, Dominique Hampton, safety out of Washington. In round 7, Javante Jean Baptiste out of Notre Dame. Javante, everywhere I've looked, man, these Commanders and your GM, Mr. Adam Peters, they've been getting glowing reviews as Rodgers throwing some at the TV. Looks like the Lakers are giving up another lead. But what did you think about the Commanders draft class, man? I've been seeing A's and A pluses and A minuses and B plus.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think the Commanders absolutely killed the first 3 rounds. Truthfully the entire draft, but man, the first 3 rounds, Adam Peters was wheeling and dealing. He could have gave a master's class on how to flip a team, how to flip an organization, how to flip a roster, and get value out of your picks. Our second guy, Johnny Newton, he had a first round grade. Getting him at 36, absolutely huge. I can't pronounce the Mike from Michigan. Great corner.
Sanristil. I'm going with that.
Top corner. On a championship level top tier organization with Michigan, who was also a team captain. And I noticed that the Commanders were going after a lot of guys in that middle rounds that were team captains. So I think that's an intangible that I think Adam Peters and the organization was looking at, because that's how we get better. We got leaders. Iron sharpens iron. So things got it's only up from here. So you know what I'm saying. So Adam Peters had his work cut out for him, but he did very, 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 very well. And also the tight end out of Kansas State,
Ben Sinnott.
in love. They were absolutely in love with him. So much so that they passed on quite a few linemen potentially at that spot. So I think that spoke volumes about the tight end and his abilities. So I think they did amazing. So I think they added about 8 or 9 new guys. Like I said, a lot of value. You said it, Byron. A lot of A's, a lot of A pluses, A minuses, and of course the pick Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying? That just set the tone for what Adam Peters and the Commanders were trying to do.
So does he get a thumbs up from Cravante?
2 of them.
Raj, let's look at the Ravens real quick. I know you like some of the picks and some you weren't in love with. I get it. But let's go down the list. At pick number 30, we had Nate Wiggins out of Clemson, one of the best corners in the draft. Number 2, Raj, I didn't know you got picked by the Ravens. Roger Rosengarten, offensive tackle out of Washington. No sacks given up in his career. And don't forget, they did win the award for the best offensive line in the country, so he was a part of that. Adisa Isaac out of Penn State. Yes, another Penn State outside linebacker. Devontae Walker out of North Carolina, probably the most intriguing pick just because of his potential. TJ Tampa, talking about guys falling, Cavante with Sinat with the tight end. TJ Tampa fell to the Ravens, a big corner. So they got kind of their linky corner and then their cover corner in Wiggins. Rasheen Ali, running back out of Marshall, a guy who can not only run the football, but catch the football out of the backfield while we wait for Keaton Mitchell. Devin Leary, don't really get that pick. Quarterback. Nick Samak, center out of Michigan State. And Sanasi Kane, safety out of Purdue. Hopefully, maybe like a Chuck Clark or Geno Stone that can eventually contribute to this team. Raj, what do you think of EDC? Did he cook? Pretty solid grades for the Ravens I've seen as well, as always.
I mean, I seen on a Twitter, the gods were saying that we got an A minus. I seen some people say we got a B plus. I even seen somebody say we have a C minus. And that's our boy Nitro, who did not like a lot of this draft. But in my opinion, I think we did okay. Of course, I love the Nate Wiggins pick. I thought that was a great pick. Of course, you guys covered him, so I watched that extensively. We put that, like I said, we put that out as our first NFL draft profile. So it was awesome to get the guy. Also, Roger, I did not expect that. I thought that was a really, really, really good pick, especially since we need a tackle. He can definitely probably play right tackle right now. He probably be starting right now over Daniel.
He better be.
Hopefully he can switch to left tackle once Monty Stanley is gone. So I thought that was a great value pick. But after that, Adisa Isaac, I'm not the only person, but I wasn't really feeling him. And not because he went to Penn State. It's just I seen some of his tape, and I'm like, he reminds me of a little bit of his teammate, Adafi Owe. But he's a little bit slower, which sucks. But it is what it is.
He did have more sacks and tackles than Chop Robinson, who went before him, Raj.
He had more sacks, but he doesn't
tackles
do
for
well.
loss.
He doesn't do well against the run. That's what I don't like. But it's neither here nor there. He's a rookie. Hopefully he can fit down the line. What was it? Tez Walker. That's another pick that was cool.
They're comparing him to Torrey Smith, kind of a little bit.
But his problems is he's not a great route runner, and he drops the ball every now and again. He'll be a problem. That's what?
He got speed.
He got okay. They got speed. He runs 4.3. Whoop-de-doo. Can he
play with Drake May? Lamar got to throw that deep ball to him.
Can Lamar connect with the deep ball? Is the question.
Gonna be the key.
That's the key. But hopefully he has a lot of promise to him. So he'll learn from Zay and Bateman and Aguilar. Hopefully Aguilar can help him a lot since he's the veteran on the team now. So that's a good pick. TJ Tampa dropped. He should have been a higher pick. So I thought that was a steal. Anytime a person's like, look, this dude should have went in the first or second round, that's a steal, I'm happy about that. So I don't got nothing negative to say about that. I'm pretty sure he'll be contributing down the line when we need him, especially if Brandon Stevens is not resigned or Merrill Humphrey is gone or whatever happens. So that's great. Other than that, Devin Lurie, I don't know why we picked him. I mean, he does not fit the quarterback style of Lamar. I'm not sure what we're going to use him for. What is he, a crash test dummy? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why they picked him. Also, the running back that we picked up, and I understand he played pretty good at Marshall. You know, he has the stats, but I mean, he can't secure the football very well. I mean, what does Harbaugh hate, Byron?
Fumbles.
Fumbles, exactly. So why would you pick somebody who's going to fumble the damn football? But like I said, it's neither here nor there. That's why he was a lower pick. So I can't be too mad about it. But still, it's like, why would you pick somebody that fumbles the football? And I think the guy after him I believe, is hurt. Simac or whatever his name is, Simac.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know about that one. And then the safety, he's a wait and see. Maybe he is another Geno Stone. Maybe he isn't. I don't know. But all in all, the draft was very interesting. I like some of the picks. I didn't like all of them. My personal grade, I probably give it a B, maybe. But yeah, man, they did their thing. I guess some of the picks wasn't needed, like Devin Leary and Simac. I didn't like them picks. And Adisa, I'm gonna give him a shot. But as of right now, I don't like the pick. But still, it is what it is. The Ravens reached a lot. They didn't move at all. They didn't go up or go down, which is the Raven way sometimes. But it is what it is. Hopefully, there is a lot of people out there. The June 1st cuts are coming. So Ravens, please find something else in them June 1st cuts, especially at safety. You know, you have plenty of options to choose from. Justin Simmons is out there, by the way. He is out there waiting to be picked up. So please. And some other people are going to be released as well. So if you can find a guard or another tackle out there, have at it. But the Ravens, they did what they're supposed to do at the positions of need. But some of those other picks, like I said before, wasn't needed.
Jersey Dre, you back with us, brother. What were your thoughts on the draft overall and with the Ravens or anything in particular that stood out to you in this draft class?
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I think the Ravens, I thought they had a pretty good draft. Me and Brother Rouse were talking earlier. Of course, you know, their first round draft pick, I thought that was a good pickup because, especially in today's league, as a passing league, you definitely need help in the back end with those safeties. Marlon Humphreys, we saw that he could use a lot of help. So I thought that was a good pickup for them. And Rouse and me were talking that the steal of the draft he thinks was TJ Tampa, which I think that was a pretty good pickup for them too. I'm not too happy on the fact that they got a wide receiver with that fourth round. Devontae Walker, I need to see something out of that. But I mean that I think the Ravens still, there are certain things that we still need, like a pass rusher, of course. And I still think we still need a go-to wide receiver. I think though we drafted a receiver, I think Odell, actually losing him and then not replacing him hurts, because I feel like Odell, though he wasn't the same Odell of the past, he still did pretty good with the yardage that he got, and he was able to get some coverage and some penalties that helped us move the ball along last year. So I think that we still need a go-to wide receiver. Yes,
that's what Bateman is for.
I mean, yes, we did pick up, Derrick Henry, and we got Lamar with the running game. But to what you just said, Raj, I haven't seen enough out of Bateman.
But you will.
You know,
that's why I think they drafted Walker, Dre, because he did play with Drake May, and I think he only played 8 games this year because of suspension. In 6 of the 8 games, he averaged 20 yards a catch. He does have some problems with route running and drops, but he's comparing himself, or EDC compared him to Torrey Smith. Now with Derrick Henry, you can play action, you can throw the deep ball. It's going to come down to Lamar to get the ball to Bateman, to Walker, Aguilar. Zay's going to get the ball, Flowers, and Andrews. It's no more excuses for this offense, man. They got enough weapons, and they got Ali, the running back out of Marshall. He can catch the ball too. It's no more. They don't need no more weapons on offense. They just need people that can block.
And here's a fun fact before you go again. With the Bateman situation, he wasn't going to get his 5th-year option next year because he was late to, I think, training camp last year. So he was going to be a restricted free agent. So that's the reason why they re-signed him to Instead of giving him his 5th year, they just gave him a EDC. He just finagled a way to give him another year after that, and he took
A
the deal
cheaper year. A cheaper year.
because he had no choice but to take it because he was screwed either way. So
So
that's
I
the
mean,
reason why.
and Byron, I think that you're right. The Ravens do have some good offensive pieces, but I think that to me, Zay is still kind of small. We do have the 2 tight ends that I like in Likely and Andrews. Nelson Aguilar surprised me a lot, but I think that helped because of having Odell there. So you're right; they have some weapons. I'll give the young boy a chance, but I'm just curious to see like, will they take that next step? Because you know how it is, that sophomore slump. Zay, it's a possibility with him. And Zay's a little better than, thus far than what we saw out of Hollywood, but that's still, that second year remains to be seen. So we'll see, but that's my only concern on offense is just having that go-to receiver. But I think overall, not only did the Ravens have a good draft, I think the division had a good draft as well. Both Norths. I want to say the AFC North and I want to say the NFC North. But yes, I'm gonna stick to the hometown for right now. But I think the Bears had a really good draft, and the Bears have been surprising me. I'm not ready to say yet they'll win the NFC North, but I'm tempted to say that this is starting to look like a playoff team, much different than what Justin Fields was there. And I feel kind of bad for Justin Fields because this is the help that they're giving Caleb Williams is the same exact help that we've been saying for years about Justin Fields. Just invest in the offense and make sure that you're making sure that this young guy has a chance to really produce and showcase his talents. And I think that they never fully invested in Justin Fields so that way he could be all in. Because the Bears still haven't had a 4,000-yard receiver. People are going to look at Justin Fields for the win-loss record as opposed to the Bears remaining old school and not investing into the offense and still being a defensive-minded team. But now they seem like they didn't turn the tide. And look, with their first 2 draft picks, you got a good wide receiver, one of the top wide receivers in the draft pick, and you got the number 1 quarterback. So, and then we seen what they did in free agency. So the Bears right now look like they, to me, had a really, really good. They had a really good draft. And while I was away, fellas, I don't know if y'all addressed it, but I think the Atlanta Falcons got a good steal with their 8th draft pick. Cavante and me, we were together over the weekend, and we were saying, business wise, it's not a good decision in that they drafted Michael Penix, but as a team, yes, I think that you got your quarterback for now, and you have your quarterback for the future. So I do like the Falcons stealing him because there are plenty of teams that definitely would have been interested in Michael Penix, and who I thought Michael Penix was a really good quarterback. Taking his team to the national championship, beating Bo Nix twice, and then just slinging that thing, going around. He looks like he was pro ready, and I think the only hesitancy was the fact that he had those injuries. But to me, Penix could have went right up there. I know Drake May got drafted real high. Of course, Caleb Williams was the best quarterback coming out, but I thought Penix should have been one of those, maybe the second quarterback. Him right there with, to me, Jalen Daniels, because I just seen his body of work, and the fact that he's able to come back from behind, and he's shown me time and time again what he's been able to do.
Real quick, also Jordan Travis from Florida State, undefeated until he got hurt, lands with the Jets, and Spencer Rattler with the Saints. So some other quarterback names to keep an eye on as we matriculate. Maybe not for 2024, maybe for 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, I say Jordan Travis. They could give him the Jordan Love treatment, where he's right behind Aaron Rodgers, learning, and then gets right in there. So I think that was a good fit too. What you just said.
Let's get to the NBA playoffs. 2 teams already advanced. We have the T-Wolves, led by Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, and the Thunder advance, both sweeping. The sun has set on the Suns, and the T-Wolves are headed to the Western Conference semifinals. They'll play the winner of the Lakers and Nuggets, and we have the.
You mean the Nuggets?
Okay.
You mean the Nuggets?
And we have the OKC Thunder.
Look, it's not over.
No.
James still has a chance.
It's
No
over.
Zion. They got swept. They got the brooms out. Cavante, I don't know if you got the broom, but OKC will advance to play the win of Dallas and the Clippers. How you
I'm very
how you
happy
feel
for
about these
OKC.
both of those teams?
I'm very happy for OKC because, like I've said before, like we've seen this in the process for quite some time now. Philly coined the phrase and royally jacked it up. The real process was in OKC. That was the true trust the process. With OKC just having all the young guys, all the picks, and just putting it all together, getting your one superstar with another potential star, and just put a solid core nucleus together. And it's good to see that it's finally unfolding for OKC, which is still a very, very young team. Now to the Timberwolves. Ant-Man looked like a goddamn hero out there. That's what he looked like a superhero out there, over there, dunking on people, shooting threes off the dribble, fading away. He hit this fadeaway on Bradley Beal. I'm like, yo, who taught him that? Where did he get that from? And
he a man amongst boys out there.
he looked like a man amongst boys, but it wasn't no boys on the other side. Bradley Beal was over there. Kevin Durant was over there. Devin Booker
KD
was over
hairline
there.
go back some more.
They wasn't no boys over there though.
Where hairline?
Exactly. He took the rest of it this series because KD looked done. But go ahead, Cavante.
And he's here. If you wasn't on notice before, Ant-Man is here, and Ant-Man has a thing or two he got a thing or two to say. He gives me Jimmy Butler vibes. That's what he's giving me. He giving me like Jimmy Butler, Jordan, Kobe vibes. That's what he's giving me. That's what he's showing me. And my gosh, he take 2 steps within the 3-point line, and he's liable to bang on somebody. And KD, I don't even know what you're doing down there, brother. What you doing down there? He gonna send KD to early retirement. That's what Ant-Man out there trying to do, and he's leading this. They're not as young as OKC, but Ant-Man is a young superstar, and that's what you do when you're about to eliminate a team. Your superstars show up, and Ant-Man showed up and showed out and put what do we say? Well, not boost the asses, but brooms the asses, and got KD.
Okay, I see you.
And got KD, my boy Bradley Beal. I knew it was a goofy situation. Raj, we already talked about it. I felt it was a goofy. Yep.
Finish him, Daddy.
Ant-Man was daddy, obviously. Ant-Man was the son's daddy. That's what it was. He did whatever he wanted, got whatever shot he wanted, and the boy looked like he couldn't miss. I don't know how many threes he made. It was a lot, but he got up to a 40. That's that your superstars show up when it's time to close out, and that's what Ant-Man did. I'm very excited to see the next matchup with the Timberwolves and the
Nuggets.
All right, cool. Dre, where's Dre?
Hell no, I'm right here. I ain't
Hey, Dre,
giving
tell
up.
him it's a tie game. Goat James with the assist just now.
Oh, go James. It's not over.
And the Nuggets, okay?
It's over.
Look, you have no faith in old Goat James, the man who came back.
No. There's no team in NBA history that's ever come down from 0-3.
And wait a minute, there was one point in time when nobody ever came back from 3-1, and old Goat James did it.
Oh, Goat James.
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
It don't matter how long ago it was. That solidified this man as the greatest of all time.
Cavante had all black hair when that happened.
Damn!
Wow!
Come on, man.
Damn!
Come on.
He been holding that one in, Karate. All them shots that you've been taking at him. He didn't come with the pistol. My man
My hair
came
was
with
black.
the.
No, he's right though.
he
He's
came
right.
with
My
the
hair was
shotty
black.
on that
But
one.
also, I feel like also that was the same year Donald Trump got put into office. So, you know, a lot happened that year.
Yes.
a lot of wild stuff happened that year. It was
Yeah.
stressing folks
Wow.
out, man.
Raj, go ahead. How you feel, man? You said something last night about Ant-Man. Something you've seen in him that you haven't seen in a while since a certain bean goblin that you got that you love so much with your Lakers, man. Mentality.
Now I don't know if he went
Did he
to
summon the spirit of Kobe? Like
no.
Okay.
I don't know if he actually went to Vanessa Bryant and came in the house and she pulled out this chest of goodies, and all of a sudden you see Kobe's muse cage in there, and his eyes, you know, just starts doing some demonic things, and all of a sudden it starts glowing, and he's like, you know, I don't know if that happened or what's going on.
Are you summoning the Undertaker or something? Talking about some.
Hold on, what she do? What he do?
I don't know if he went into Kobe's house and found a muse cage, and then all of a sudden his eyes just started going crazy, and he's just then it starts, and then you know the chest starts glowing, and he's like, oh, you know, I don't know if that
Like
happened.
Space Jam, man.
I don't know if that happened or not, but something has turned. I don't know what's going on. This brother has turned into something completely different from what I saw his rookie and his sophomore year, and even last year. This man is on a whole new level. I'm on a new level. That's exactly what he is on. He is on a new level, man. Anthony Edwards is the truth, bro. Like, I have never seen nobody like put booster asses like he did against KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. That is crazy. Now I understand that the Suns don't have a point guard. They're missing the point guard. They're missing the distributing of the basketball equally. I get that, but it's just like, bro, he literally whooped their ass every single game. Like he put up like 40 like every game. I'm like, this is crazy. So I did not expect that. I thought the Suns was gonna at least, you know, take them to 7 games at least. I thought it would have been a 7-game series easily, but man, the Timberwolves are here. They're here now. Okay, they are here now. Then I hear the next year, then I hear the year after that. They're here right now. And you know, special kudos to the Timberwolves for getting Rudy Gobert too. At first we thought that was like one of the goofiest trades ever about a year or two ago. It was like, why would you get him? He's damn near almost, I ain't gonna say he's washed up, but I was like, he's not gonna make a difference. You got 2 7-footers out there. You know, he's a big stiff and Cat is a big soft stiff. Nah. I mean, they did the right thing. They figured out that I guess that Denver was going to be a team to beat, and Denver has a lot of size, so now they can match up with them perfectly. You know, going into this next round. So, like I said before, Edwards is on a new level, man. He's I think he's as good as Doncic and SGA and all these other younger cats, man. I think he's up there with all of them. So yes. Special kudos, Irby Miller. You already know how it goes down at Mervo, Mark. You already know how it goes down at Mervo. So yeah, special kudos. But yeah, man, he's on a new level, bro. And I'm loving what I'm saying. He is surely becoming one of my favorite players to watch. And I love his attitude. I love the bravado. I love all of it, man. I love all of it. He puts a huge smile on my face. And we got all these guys out here now that are, you know, I ain't gonna say they soft or whatever, but it just reminds me of that old school basketball field that, you know, that field I was telling y'all about around the All-Star game. And you know, how I wish some of that would come back. He has that. And that's just it's just a great thing to see.
Go ahead, Jersey Dre. How you feeling? And the Lakers are up, well, down 1.
Hey,
They're up by 2. They're up by 2.
Look,
Oh, never mind.
I'm not worried about this. You know, this game, man. I mean, I think the Lakers are going to do what they do. But as far as these playoffs, OKC and the Timbs, they're coming. And I think I said that last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago. These two teams are coming. This is starting to be you're starting to see a changing of the guard. We're seeing no Steph. LeBron is hanging on. KD is out of there. So the people that we're used to seeing in the
Giannis
past,
about to get up out of there with Dame.
oh yeah, them two. And they're hurt. So right now they're done. Might as well say they out.
Embiid too, Dre.
Embiid, yeah, Embiid. So we're seeing a change of the guard. Um, um, right now, OKC, you're seeing them. The Kings, they were supposed to be coming. I don't know what happened to them. Uh, right now, you're seeing the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards. Joker right now looks like the best player in the league and the defending world champion. So we're seeing a shift right now into the NBA, and we were. I remember LeBron wondering about who would be the face of the NBA. You got some options right now. I mean, you got Jason Tatum, you got Anthony Edwards, uh, you got um,
You got Luka Doncic.
Luka,
You
yeah,
got Joker. You
Luka
got
as well.
Joker.
You got SGA. So, I mean, there are options out there as far as who can be the face of the league. But the league is right now, I think, is in good hands moving forward. And it's good to see different teams. The fact that you can see Oklahoma City, who basically a repeat of when they had KD, Westbrook, and Harden, and now they got Chet SGA over there. You got right now with the Timberwolves, we were talking about Karl Anthony Towns, and now you got Anthony Edwards along over there with him. So, I mean, the league right now is definitely changing. The West, though teams got swept, you could see that it's still a hard path to take over in the West. In the East, Brunson right now, what he's doing for the Knicks. I mean, we've been asking about this for the Knicks for years, and back to even when Carmelo Anthony was over there. And it looks like Brunson is taking them to new heights. It sucks that Randall got hurt. And I thought the Sixers would win this matchup and have an easy path to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it's looking like the Knicks are that team right now, and it might be the Knicks could be a real problem moving forward for real. The Boston Celtics, you still got Tatum and Brown over there, so it's still right now. Like I said, the league is in really good hands, and whether it's the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference, they are moving forward, and I think that the whole league in itself is moving in a good direction. I think the playoff games, some of them, it's been a lot of blowouts, but those games that haven't been blowouts have been really good. Like yesterday's game, to have Dallas come back from a 31-point deficit and tie it up, Kyrie Irving going off in the second half and doing what he does and almost beating the Clippers. But I mean, Paul George and Harden turned back the hands of time yesterday because that one shot from Paul George, that corner three, I think that solidified it. And then when every time Dallas would score, uh, the Clippers had a punch right back with James Harden. And I'm just wondering, like, James Harden, where was this with the Rockets and where was this for the 76ers? Because you did not perform like this for either team. And I'm not even going to include Brooklyn because Brooklyn, you just gave up. But other than that, though, I think that, like I said, right now, I think that the overall the playoffs, I've enjoyed actually watching them, and I can't wait to see some of these other matchups. I am curious about this Timberwolves and who will they face, whether it's the whether it's the Nuggets or it's the Lakers. But it's interesting to see what that matchup will be next. And I'm actually kind of rooting for Dallas because I would love to see. Like I think I said it last week, but I would love to see Dallas and the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. That's me.
Well, let us know. Lakers are down 2 with 3:33 left in the fourth. We'll keep that up for you guys. And we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted. Before we get to Goofies real quick, Drizzy Dre. The WWE Draft did conclude today. Any thoughts on which was very underwhelming?
Yeah, like you said, it was underwhelming. Most of the people stayed, and we thought that they were going to say it was a few changes, but I thought Raw was the real winners. They got some good people, like oh my man, who was the former NXT World Champion,
Dragunov.
Dragunov. Dragunov, man, I think that that's interesting to see that the fact that Imperium just let go of one of their members and seeing him, he could possibly be the new third member over in Imperium. So I think that would be a really good look for him. I think that, of course, Raw getting Braun Breaker over there. And Valkyria, I think that's a sleeper for real. Having her over there for the women's division, I think that, like I said, I think in this draft, I think Raw was the true winners. In this whole situation. So, overall, it was kind of underwhelming. But it was good to see some of the returns of some of the people like the Dudley Boys, the APA, Booker T, Stephanie McMahon. So overall, like I said, it was underwhelming, but it was some good spotlights here and there.
Go ahead, Rod. Your thoughts?
I don't got no thoughts on that crap. I mean, I didn't watch it today. I didn't really see it. I didn't care for it on Friday because the first 30 minutes I was like, yeah, this is gonna be some BS. I don't know why they do these things. I mean, they're gonna if you're not gonna actually like make it interesting and like actually change people from like different shows to different shows, or have a little have a little thing where the champion can go from each show to show or whatever. It's just it beats the point. It's pointless. But besides that, yeah, this joint sucked. It did. But at least NXT stars are coming up, I guess.
Yeah,
That's the bright part about it.
I can't wait to see my man Trick Williams when it's his turn to finally come up. But like you said, Raj, I mean, it was underwhelming because we haven't seen any really impact people like that since a few years ago when like Jim Ross got uh, drafted from Raw to SmackDown. I remember when John Cena got drafted from SmackDown to Raw. So there have been, in the past we've seen some big hits, but this week, I mean, it was like, I'm not, I'm that impressed. I was more uh, gung ho about Candace Parker retiring than this WWE draft, man.
Well, we'll be live on Saturday for Backlash. We'll get more into that as the week goes on. But Cravante, are you ready to get goofy, my guy?
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Let's call him up. Time for Cavante's Goofies of the Week. And our resident Goofy is here.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Well, well, well. We meet another week for Goofies of the Week.
Well, now that's goofy.
Sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time. So let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. I have one goofy that I want to talk about, but I have another goofy that I want to talk as maybe a little bit more as a group, and I definitely want to get Raj and Dre's take on what's going on. But I deal with goofiness. You guys already know that. I point out what's goofy, whether it's high, low, in between, or what have you. That's kind of what I deal with. Now, I know I'm slowly starting to shift. My goofy's probably doing more of a general goofy because all my goofies are high level. I don't get the opportunity to come across stories that are just low level goofy because it's always the potential. It always reaches the potential to being bigger and being more of a high level goofy. So I'm just going to talk about goofies in general, but just know that they're of the high level variety. So for those of y'all that don't know, and I do have two. For those of y'all that were unaware, thank the heavens that nobody was seriously hurt. But Houston Texans wide receiver Tank Dell wounded in a shooting that left 10 people injured. Ten people. Now, again, thank the heavens that nobody was seriously hurt, no life-threatening injuries. but a teenager was arrested. How? It's gotten to the point, and I hate to sound like the how do you say, the old man, um where it's like you can't, like, them damn kids, you know what I'm saying? But, and of course it's still a development story. Like, I'm sure there's more may come out about this. But a teenager was arrested after shooting 10 people. Like, that's crazy. Absolutely, absolutely bananas. And of course, Tank Dell being the lone celebrity or lone um superstar, well, superstar football player, athlete, being in the area, he was noticed first. But authorities have yet to make a decision on whether the 16-year-old suspected shooter will be charged as an adult. One of the reporters said 9 of the 10 people who were shot had been released from the hospital with minor wounds. Um, and it's like, I'm gathering like it was some type of it seemed like a private event. Now again, I don't know the other stories that's going around about what, like, the teenager side of things or what have you, but teenagers with guns is crazy. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Um, and depending on where you are in the country, where how your gun laws are, and all this and that, and of course, it happened in Florida. Of course, like, why wouldn't it at this point? But teenagers with guns are not cool, wildly underage, and being quite disruptive. Again, I don't want to sound like the old man saying them damn kids, them damn kids, them damn kids, but them damn kids, them damn kids, them damn kids. What is going on that you have to pick up a gun and basically shoot? You basically shot into a crowd of people because it's like what is the thought process? What is the mindset? Like, it's way too much going on. And again, thankfully, nobody's been seriously hurt. Take Dell is he has well wishes, and he's in good spirits after being released from the hospital. Excuse me. But that's entirely too much, because the next time everybody might not be so lucky. Like, this is one of incidents where it's like it's an absolute blessing. It seems like authorities got to him before he did any crazy damage. Even though I say 10 people is quite crazy. But thank the heavens that nobody was seriously hurt. Take Dell. He's good. Hopefully he takes care of himself moving forward as far as his mental health, because that could very much start a case of, like, PTSD. So I wish him and those survivors well in their journey moving forward. And to the teen, he's probably going to be charged like an adult, unfortunately. But very goofy. Now, my next one. Raj, I need you. Club Shay Shay. We all know Club Shay Shay been on fire since January, since the old Cat Williams thing. There was a young lady that was on Club Shay Shay recently, and her name was
Amanda Seals.
ha 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 ha. That's why I wanted you guys in. So you guys, we were all familiar with the interview with Amanda Seals. Okay, so it might just be me, And if I'm wrong, please somebody check me. Tell me like, hey, no, it didn't happen like that, or it didn't happen like you said. Um, Amanda Seals seemed as though in all of her situations, like every single one, she was the victim. And she cried victim every chance she got. And then had the nerve to try to come at come at Shannon crazy after the interview. And first, that interview was 3 hours. I can't sit and watch. I couldn't listen. And this is for me. I could not sit and listen to her for 3 hours. There's absolutely no way. Damn the context. Okay. damned all that. I think we got a nice amount of what we needed to have an input, have an input on it. But I just thought that it was crazy how she sat with this brother, Shannon, for 3 hours and then had the nerve to get on Instagram and act like she was being harassed and interrogated. I think that's crazy. Because if you really felt like it was that bad, at any point you could just be like, F it. I mean, I feel like she would do that anyway, but it just, man, she gives really, really weird energy, and it's very exhausting listening to her. What am I off, brothers?
No, you're not off at all. She is very exhausting. She doesn't take any accountability for her actions. She everywhere she's gone, either somebody's has gotten rid of her, somebody's fired her. It's always somebody else's fault, like I said before. And now, on top of that, she said in the interview that she had autism, or she was diagnosed with autism. To find out that she was not diagnosed with autism, in an Instagram live video yesterday, she said she never went to the doctor. She just said that she pretty much just looked it up online. I'm like, you got you she's the type of person where if you see her, you need to walk the other way. Just walk the other way. Just say hello and just keep it moving. Be like, what's up, and walk the other way, because she is on the spectrum of something. It might not be autism, but she's on the spectrum of something. But yes, she deserves this goofy. I'm glad you're giving it to her. She wants all the attention. She wants all the smoke. And my biggest problem with Amanda Seals is this: she tried to take our fellow neurosurgeon / former NFL player Myron Roll down for something that he never did, and she never apologized for it. And she's still getting smoked to this day from it as well. So that's all.
You ever notice that all the goofy stuff just happens on Club Shay Shay? I tell you, I mean, I'm still trying to sit through the entirety of the interview. Like you said, 3 hours.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Brother, more power to you.
I'm chopping it up, man. Like you said, I don't have the time, but I do it whenever I have a little bit of time I can squeeze in. But I mean, this whole thing started with Cat Williams, and then Monique had her interview. And it's just always some craziness happening with Uncle Shay Shay, man. But this Amanda Seals, for what you said, I'm not gonna discuss anybody's troubles, but for her to come on and say that she has autism and then to turn around and say that she doesn't is just like, that's not, to me, that's not fair to those who really do suffer from
Absolutely not.
autism, because that to me is out of bounds more than anything else that was said. And then she also, you could tell during the interview, uh, when when Shannon was talking to her about her autism, like and challenging teachers, that she just checked out after that, and it just seemed like she just wasn't no good for that the rest of the interview. And then, like you said, to come at that man like that, and it's like, come on, you came on his platform, like you said, Cavante. At any point, you could have walked off, just like you chose not to drink the club Shay Shay liquor, which I'm hoping Shay Shay you give us a bottle, because my birthday.
Send free stuff.
I could use a bottle, but look, I'll sit with you. But I mean,
Word.
First of all, anybody that comes on the show and they know that drinking is involved and you don't drink, I don't trust you off bat. Like that's just me. I'm not going to trust you if you coming on there.
It's like going on Drink Champs.
Exactly. What's the point? But the whole thing is just goofy. And then what she also said about Issa Rae, and I'm like, come on now, like you and Issa are supposed to be tight, but like you said, everywhere that she's gone, those bridges have just been burned. Was it because she was on the talk at one point, wasn't she?
She was on the real.
It was the real. And you see that bridge got burned, and then you're talking about now her going on Shannon Sharp, and it's just like, it just seems like a whole thing of publicity and getting her name out there and getting talked about. And a matter of fact, I think Amanda's supposed to be coming. I think she's coming to Baltimore soon. I think.
Oh, Lord.
I think to the Comedy Factory, if I'm not mistaken.
To do what?
Apparently, I didn't know she was a comedian before this. I ain't gonna hold you.
It's not really like. Well, but they did say that a comedian is one of her things.
I believe she has a comedy special, Cavante, too.
I've gone to see Amanda when she was when Insecure first came out. I went to go see her. It was at not the Lyric, but somewhere within that vicinity, and it was kind of like similar to seeing like Tasha K, where it was just kind of like, it was almost like a podcast type of thing with an audience involvement, except hers had black facts involved with it.
You couldn't pay me enough to go see no damn Tasha K, no Amanda Seales.
Well, first of all, Tasha K, she had the ladies out there, so I mean, I ain't mad. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care about that. People who follow Tasha K is no good. I'm gonna say that right now. People who follow her is no good. If you following Tasha K, stay the hell away from me.
I didn't say I followed her. I said I come out for two reasons.
I didn't say you. I said the ladies. The ladies that follow her, stay away from me.
Well, I guess she's apparently a comedian. Byron said she had a special.
Yeah, that is one of her things. Like comedian. Shannon had a whole list for some stuff I didn't know. I was like, all right, I was familiar with like her doing a comedy special, but I didn't really consider that a comedian if you do a special, because then at that point you might as well say T.I.'s a comedian.
You know what? You know her best joke was? Amanda Seales' best joke was UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You're ugly. Yeah, you're ugly. If you don't know what that's from the TV show My Brother and Me back in '94. That was her biggest hit.
Not the biggest. 94.
Biggest. Yes. My Brother and Me. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's on YouTube.
That's like around OJ time. That's crazy.
Exactly. That was Amanda Seales' biggest break. That was it.
I thought Insecure was her big break.
No, it was My Brother and Me. It's a Nickelodeon show.
Because that was her getting into the business. My Brother and Me.
Okay.
Oh, okay. She's a Nickelodeon kid. That explains it all.
Well, hey, listen, man. Child actors' lives, adult lives, be wild. And so I didn't know that either. So this is weirdly making sense a little bit. And I just think people are really delusional. Because Dre, listen, you know why I'm here. Well, when I go to the gram and I see the crazy stuff, you know, first place I go.
The comments.
You know, I'm right in there. You understand me? And I just think people are kind of delusional with like she's like she's smart. You can tell she's bright and pretty smart, pretty intelligent, but she also strikes me as the type that thinks she's the smartest person in the room. And typically, if you think you're the smartest person in a room, chances are you're not.
You saw that
And
in the interview, in the whole interview with Shannon. She came off like that.
you know what I'm saying? So, and those people are wildly
Narcissists.
are narcissists and wildly just unattractive people. Like, I don't care how good you think somebody looks. If that's their attitude and how they're carrying things, they are like immediately unattractive. But so yeah, I know that it was a little bit extended for Goofies of the Week, but um Amanda Seals, when her trying to put a brother down, huh?
She
Out there
put
trying to put a brother down on
a
some
lot of
BS.
brothers.
And the again, thank the heavens that the brother Tank Dale is okay, because that was some goofiness too. But also, Dre, you remember who all the crazy people are?
Out of all of the Bronx and all of Florida.
So I'm not surprised that this happened in Florida.
And look, her being from Florida explains a lot.
Nickelodeon from Florida? What? Yeah, this is weirdly adding up. But those are my goofies of the week. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great, and all these brothers and sisters. Well, I don't even know what the ethnicity the team was, but nonetheless, brothers and sisters on the wrong end of it. Got to do better.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Thank you for that, Cravante. For that goofy of the week. Let me get that final sound if I can find it. There we go.
Well, now that's goofy.
There it is.
You know what else?
Fine.
You know what else is
Good.
goofy? LA Lakers took the same exact loss they did in game 2 tonight. Jamal Murray hit a game-winning jump shot on him.
Hey, come on, Dre. Like I said, Nuggets.
Sad part is they played their asses off again, and they still.
LeBron had 30 and 11.
So,
Episode 439, Dre. What can the people expect? Go ahead. Go and give you a soliloquy on the Lakers. Fine.
But they gonna. But you know what? You know what? It's not, for once. It's not Anthony Davis' fault. But you know what? This is what the Lakers need. This is what they need. Get it together and don't trade for Trae Young. That's what I say. Do not trade for Trae Young, please. We got some wonderful. Yes, that's what they need. We got some wonderful guests coming up. Yeah. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3 can't go for real.
That's where they're going.
had it ready like he knew, Dre. Had it ready like he knew.
I see. We got some really good guests coming up. Not only next week, but within the next couple of weeks. And I just want to close with, again, shout out to Candace Parker for a wonderful career. And you know, it's sad to see her go, but at least we can see her on TNT. One of the greatest women's basketball players of all time, and definitely one of my favorites to ever have touched the basketball. So I just want to end with a shout out to her.
And big series in Camden Yards, Dre. Orioles took the first game tonight. Orioles Yankees 4-game series. How you feeling about it, man?
For some reason, the Yankees always struggle against the Orioles, but I'm not really concerned, because I think that overall, I think the Yankees will still win the division, and that's I'm really eyeing that as one of the possibilities for my birthday when they when we play the Orioles again. So keep an eye out for that. You might see your boy down there. Matter of fact, Flex Zone, y'all should join me there.
Keep us posted. And we'll look forward to episode 439 next week. Dre, big ride, social media wise. What we got going on?
Pretty much same old stuff. Be back on YouTube again, baby. So YouTube is doing pretty well. Are y'all doing Dynamite this Wednesday?
Yes.
All right, so AEW
That may
Dynamite.
change, but as far as I know, yes.
AEW Dynamite is returning this Wednesday, so stay tuned for that live stream. I guess we're gonna have more Orioles videos coming up as well. I might actually do a recap of the Lakers season in totality. I'm thinking about it. Very disappointing. Very I ain't gonna say disgusting, but it was just very disappointing. And also with LeBron James returning to the Laker, we shall see. But oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, we got plenty of videos, plenty of content coming. Check us out Wednesday and Saturday, of course, for the live stream of Backlash, and we'll keep it moving.
Cavante, baby. Commanders, feeling good.
Love it. Feeling good. Feeling great. I'm excited to see what the season unfolds. Now I don't have no crazy high expectations, but they will be better than last year. That's what I do know.
Well, we want again to shout out our very illustrious guest, the Reverend Dr. John Robinson of Metropolitan AME. Give it up for the Rev one more time as he joined us tonight, talking about the stadium exploitation and breaking all down the numbers and how the game goes. We'll have the good Reverend back as he does stand with Kaepernick. So check him out, Metropolitan AME Church in DC. As mentioned, this weekend we're back another pay-per-view. But leading up to that, we got AEW on Wednesday. Ryan said he may have some content. We got an Orioles video that came out today talking about the Orioles and Yankees. And we'll be breaking down the matches of Backlash because there aren't a lot of them. So you'll get previews for each match. Maybe we get another Bloodline member debuting this Saturday. Nice little tease there. And maybe we get a reveal of this QR code Uncle Howdy mess because they just need to get it over with. But we'll see. Wednesday, we'll see what happens on Dynamite. And Tony Khan and his neck brace and Swerve era. See if they do a little bit better this week as well as on the road to Double or Nothing in May. We got Backlash, we got King of the Ring, and Double or Nothing. So 3 pay-per-views for all you wrestling marks out there. Executive producer, senior executive producer, and co-patriot, the tribal chief, Drizzy Dre. He'll be with us each and every week as always. Senior producer, captain of the Goofy Ship, Cavante, Bay, the Mandalorian, and of course, the meat man, Big Raj. He's wearing red because his meat is always well done, baby.
Wow.
God's favorite host.
In this now.
Make sure you guys throw up your ones and acknowledge the Head of Sports Podcast Table. It's the only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
The Lakers are 1, 2, 3, Cancun. And we out of here. Till next week. Check out the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button on your way out. Let us know as, yes, just swinging, Raj, just swinging. Much like Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets as they head to the next round to face that bad man, Anthony Edwards, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll talk about it next week. That and much more. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. Make sure you super chat us if you want to donate. And go ahead. And as always, the flexon1@gmail.com. Guest ideas want to be part of the show. And we'll be back, episode 439 next week. More guests on the way. And we'll be talking about the NBA playoffs next week and any other NFL or sports news that comes out. For Dre, Cavante, and Rod, God's favorite host, signing off. Everybody in the chat, thank you for watching. We gone, y'all. We putting the kids to bed. Peace.
So wait, if the shirt is red, that means the meat then wouldn't be well done.
Shut up! Cut it off!
No bread, no water, just me.
Finish him, Daddy. Finish him, Daddy.
I'm about to go rob something. Y'all know me. I'm dangerous.